So your girl was on a live stream, okay? I am gonna talk about that today. I'm so excited. I just have to highlight my best clip and, talk about it. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am Kendra. This is Kendra Creates. This is my space for sharing my weight loss journey with you. Hopefully I can help you out along the way. If you're on a weight loss journey, you'll get some commentary from me and hopefully you'll learn a little bit about me along the way. If that still sounds good to you, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel. So we're going to get straight into it today. I was on a live stream, okay? If you didn't check it out, I'll have the link below. But what I'm going to do today is I am going to pop in some highlights that I thought was important of the things that I talked about, which is pretty much all my clips. Because I had a lot of good things to talk about. I was asked a lot of good questions. And, sometimes when we're talking and, we're doing it spur of the moment and everything, we don't totally get our point across. So I'm going to kind of expand upon the things that I said. And if you guys don't know, I did 2 videos about Hollis. It picked up a little bit of steam. The channel Kia's World talked about my video. And then we did a live stream together. And it was so amazing. It was a great experience. I had a great time. So I'm just here to talk about that today. If you haven't saw the full entire live stream, if you just want to see the clips again, they're going to be in this video. And then, of course, you'll get a little bit more in-depth commentary from me. So hold on, hold tight. Here we go. Very base level, many years ago, not many, but a couple of years ago, I worked in an extremely toxic workplace. You could Google this place and you could read newspaper articles about the toxicity of it.
I want to.
So one of my coworkers, she was ranting and raving about this book to me and another coworker. And the other coworker is like, yeah, I heard about her, but I'm not with all of that. And I was like, okay, but me, I was trying to have an open mind because I usually have an open mind about things. And so she said it was girl wash your face. And like I said, in my part 2 video, I was like, oh, what is this about? Because Black women use the term a lot, And I was like, oh, this must be about, a Black woman. I got to check it out, see what it's about. And, me, I'm cheap. So I go online to my public library, the book. I see it's some white lady on the front cover of it. So it was kind of like, I don't know about this. I never read it. Fast forward to earlier this year when I kind of my life settled down a little bit because in the span of 1 year, I moved, I got married, I had a baby. So I got back on the internet basically. And YouTube is amazing because it just recommends stuff to you that you may have never even thought of to watch. And so I started watching long form content, documentary style type videos. And one of those was about Rach Hollis. And that's how I really learned about her. But it was very kind of the start and the downfall. And now I guess she's, trying to rebuild or something. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, we're in the part of the story, the arc, where she's rising back up to the top. I don't know if she'll ever get back. I don't think she'll ever get back to where she not started, but where she was at the peak. Mm-hmm. But she's making money somehow. She seems to be, persevering. And that's one thing I will never take away from her, is that she does not give up, even when I would have given up, a lot sooner than she keeps going. She'll take a tiny break here and there, but she'll be back. She plagiarizes major, writers' quotes. She's back. She embarrasses herself with, on TikTok. She's back. Is that the best quality in the world? I don't know, but it is a quality. So gotta give.
I feel like no matter who you are, you have your ride or dies. They will stand by you no matter what. For instance, look at Mr. R. Kelly. he still has a fan base. Like people legit like write him letters and are fangirling over him. And it's like, remember
Interesting.
what he did? Do y'all remember what he did? Or y'all forgot all about that? So
They're like, he wouldn't do that to me, though. That's why I'm going to send him this letter and be different. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, people were sending Jeffrey Dahmer letters while he was in prison. I just watched the thing on Netflix, and people were sending him fan mail. It's like,
it's so crazy. I
yeah,
watched that episode last night.
it's so
And
good.
the guy in the prison, he was like, "What you did to those people," or something, like he hit him or something. My fans don't think so.
My fans. Yeah.
Like, oh
It's true. I mean, that is a very good point. Like, no matter what, even like not Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson had people show up to the courthouse and they were supporting him. So just because you have a group of supporters doesn't necessarily mean what you're saying is,
no,
wonderful. That's a good thing to remember.
Okay, so in that clip, I talked about how I became to know about Rachel Hollis and everything. And this is something that we as Black folks talk about a lot. And it's basically people in other communities speaking AAVE, which is African American Vernacular English, also known as Black English. Basically how Black folks talk. And it's honestly the thing that we get scolded for, especially us working in the professional world or being professional or working in the corporate area. We have to code switch. If you don't know what code switching is, just Google it. It's a lot more than what I can tell you about right here. We have to code switch. We have to put on different masks. We have different working relationships with people that we work with. We have to worry about everything. We have to worry about what we say, what we do, how we come across to people. And I've done that a lot in my professional career because I don't want to be known as the angry Black woman. Like if I speak up or do this or do that, I have to worry about how I wear my hair. Black men have to worry about the way that they wear their hair. And a lot of times we are held to a higher standard than our peers. And this is just me speaking my experience. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. But this is what I've been through. And this is what a lot of my friends have been through. And this is what a lot of Black people have been through. And then for someone who is not Black to take the same type of language that we use, that we have been scolded for, and use it as part of her platform, it pisses me off, honestly. Because she's taking the words like girl. I use that word all the time. And it's pretty much become part of my normal language. And the way that she said sis in that Toiletgate video, like the way she said it so aggressively, and she has so much vitriol behind that, and the condescending tone that she used. I just wanted to get that point out there because I really didn't expand upon the whole AAVE point on the live stream. So I just wanted to say that, yeah, of course, Black people don't own the language. Anyone can say whatever they want to say, however they want to say it. But it's just funny how we are talked about very negatively for using this particular language. And Rachel Hollis builds a platform off of it.
And Dave Hollis's new girlfriend, Heidi Powell, who actually maybe you should look into because she's got sort of a toxic fitness empire. I say that very loosely, growing. And it's a lot of like, if you're going to eat a donut, eat one piece of the donut and chew it 100 times. And therefore, now you can enjoy the donut. A lot of stuff like that. And if you want to be full, eat a bag of broccoli and drink water so that your stomach gets so, distended that you can't eat anymore.
That sounds like eating stuff. Like,
yeah.
Literally, that's what it is.
Yeah, and she's someone who claims that she's recovered and has healed basically herself from an ED. So there's a lot of layers in that story, but that's part of the Hollisville
Yeah, I heard it was his competition weekend or something.
Yeah, Dave Hollis is going to be inside of a fitness competition. So, I mean,
big props to him. I could never do that because I like my carbs, but
Yeah. You know, the whole thing is like, I don't care. Like, do whatever you want. You know, obviously he's like got his money set somehow. His investments are good. He can chill, you know, and do whatever he wants now. But he framed it as, this is going to prove that I have integrity. I'm an integral person, because he's doing a fitness event. I'm like, I don't find that to be fair for me. Like, I don't. He's like, well, I stuck to my workouts. Like, who gives a shit? Sorry. Who cares, you know? Sorry. I'm keeping my cursing to a minimum today because we don't want to offend Kendra, okay, on this channel. But, you know.
No, it does not offend me. It offends other people that may be watching.
Whenever I have a guest on the show, I try to, like, you know, keep it within reason. So we appreciate it.
I'll say be yourself, be whoever.
Thank you. I actually talked to my therapist the other day about cursing. I'm like, you know, do you think I curse too much? She's like, I have never heard you curse once. I'm like, okay. Maybe then, I'm like, I forgot. She doesn't watch my YouTube channel. So I'm like, okay. I guess I have different personas depending on where I'm going. But yeah, the Dave thing, like, I don't care what he does, but to say, oh, well, if you want integrity in your life, join a fitness competition. It's like, no, that's not what I think.
A world of craziness.
Yeah, and there's I think it's a Washington Post article just came out about like sexual abuse allegations from a lot of the women that do the fitness competitions, and the, you know, meeting with judges and all those things. And I've heard not a peep from either one of them. So it's interesting that there's kind of like expose on the whole industry, and of course they're both sort of.
It's like people see those type of people and they have excellent body, muscular physique, you know, they must eat very healthily, but a lot of them are doing these things by very unhealthy means. Mm-hmm. That's all I'll say about that. But.
Yeah, I mean, and especially when they're on stage, like, they're dehydrated on purpose, so to show the muscles, and like, even if they have a sip of water, like, it just goes back to normal. So what you're seeing is totally unrealistic. It's not even realistic for them, who have trained for months and months to do that.
I thought that this was a very interesting point that came up about the whole world of like bikini competitions or fitness modeling, bodybuilding competitions, those things like that. Because these people are at the peak of fitness. You know, these people are strong, they have muscles. And this goes back to the fact that you can't look at someone until their level of health. And I always say that people look at fat people and they say they're unhealthy, but you can't tell from a slimmer person or from even a muscular person. Like, you can't tell what their level of health is. And I know that a lot of times, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just worried about, you know, obese people's health. No, you're not. You're really not, because someone that you don't know, like, their health shouldn't matter to you. I know it doesn't matter to you. You don't show concern through fat shaming or denigrating remarks or making fun of someone. That's not how you show concern at all. If you want to show concern, you say, oh, here's the name of a registered dietitian. Or do you need any help? Or, you know, if they ask you for that, because some people don't care. They're fat, they're happy, they like to eat whatever they want, they don't care about exercising. That's their life. Just like there are a lot of normal sized people that don't exercise, that eat whatever they want. And honestly, they just won the lottery with genes. That's my husband. My husband eats whatever he wants. He does not exercise. He does not have a physically demanding job. He doesn't play any type of sports. He just won the lottery with his genes. He's just a slim guy, and that's just how his body works. So I just wanted to pop in and say that you can't really tell people's health from just looking at them. That's all.
How do you feel about her using that specific speech in a group, which you said in your video, like, that was not very diverse in the audience? Is that offensive in any way, or is it like not a big deal?
I don't necessarily think it's offensive. I just think it was a very important moment in American history.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, everyone has heard of that speech. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone thinks that he did something very important for our nation, right? And so, armed with all of that, it's like, I am going to use this story because it's going to be so amazing. Everyone is going to think so so highly of me because I did this. And, this is going to resonate with everyone because this is so important. Like, people need to hear this because I have this lesson that parallels with what Dr. King did.
Mm-hmm.
But neither one of us know what she's talking about. So it didn't resonate with everybody.
I'm here for
I
the
mean,
lesson.
I wasn't offended by it.
Yeah. Okay.
She didn't say it like in an offensive way. But
Yeah.
once you think about like why she said it, you could be offended by it because it wasn't like to pay homage to what he did. It was really about whatever she was doing and whatever point she was trying to get across. So I definitely wanted to expand upon this clip because when you see something like in real time, a lot of times you aren't really like deep thinking about things, or I'm a little bit more laid back. So like a lot of things, honestly, they don't really offend me too much. And plus, I know how these guru types are. Like, I know how these personal self-development people are. I know just in general how celebrities are, or people on social media are, influencers, right? They're clout chasers. They will take someone else's words, they will take someone else's work. They don't care who that person is. So, like, I don't think that she purposely took the I have a dream thing because it's a black man, or she's trying to pander to the black audience. I don't really think it was about that. I just think it was someone famous. They said something famous, so I want to use that. Like, I want to put my own little spin on it. I want to tell a story using this because it's going to give me more popularity amongst people. That's honestly all I thought about it. As I look back on it, like, she's just in general a clout chaser. So she wants to, basically use someone else's popularity and what they did for her own personal gain.
What do you think about Tony Robbins? Do you have any experience with him at all?
Okay, so I don't, and the reason why I don't is because I actually watched, I'm not sure if it was on Netflix or Hulu. I think it was on Netflix. I Am Not Your Guru. Was that on Netflix? Okay, I watched that. It was like very long. I want to say it was like 2 hours long. It was very long. It was like, and I tried to watch it. I tried to keep an open mind about it because I had heard about him before, like briefly. I didn't hear about anything necessarily good or bad about him at that time. So as I was watching this, I was just watching it and I was seeing how weird it was. Like, it was really weird to me how like people were like telling him these very kind of like traumatizing things about their life and stuff. And the first thing that I am thinking in my mind, I'm like, why are they saying this to this man? Like, who? Because I knew nothing about him. So I was like, why are they saying this to this man like this? Like, who is he? Like, and then I was like, why are they saying this in front of all these people? Like, why would you want to rehash your trauma in front of all of these people with this man who I had heard about him? I knew he was like some kind of self-help public speaker type. And most of those types, they aren't credentialed in any type of way. So in my mind, I was thinking, this man is not credentialed. And even if he was, it would probably go against his professional ethics to be doing this in front of an audience of people. It was just weird to me. And so I slogged through it. And the whole time I'm like, this is so weird. But I wanted to finish watching it. But it was like, it was so weird to me. Like, I couldn't continue like my open mind when I looked at it. And when I finished it, I was like, this is a waste of my time. And so because it was a waste of my time and I thought it was so weird, and I kind of thought the people, I wouldn't say that they were weird, but I was like, this was such a waste of my time. But I understand though, because when you are in a vulnerable place, you look for help any way you can. And so if you read someone's book, if people have all these great testimonials about this person, like, they're going to be open to going and seeing them, they're talking to them. getting help from them or whatever. They're going to be open to that because they're in a vulnerable spot. They're looking for help in any way that they can get it. And I was just thinking like how he was talking to these people and like, being so aggressive with them, and it was just weird to me. That's all. And so because I had that experience, I never wanted to see anything from him. I never wanted to read anything about him. There have been videos that have popped up on YouTube about him that I wanted to watch, but I never did. And it was because it was 2 hours of my time that I could never get back. And I was like, do I want to watch this? Do I want to learn about him? So, yeah. But now that you say that, I probably am going to watch it now. What I always want to do is I always want to try to come from a place being non-biased. It's my hopes. And I mean, everyone has bias, okay? So it sometimes makes things a little bit more difficult to look at from a non-biased lens. So I think that I really should give Tony Robbins documentaries another shot. Not necessarily those that paint him in a good light, but those that talk about him, his life, his works, and what he's doing, and why people like him, why people don't like him, just to get a better point of view about what he's doing. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna look at that and see how that goes. Maybe I'll talk about it. I don't know.
Dave used to be an executive at Disney and made a lot of money there and decided to quit to become the CEO of Rachel's company. So even though she is boss babe number one in our hearts, when push came to shove, she allowed her husband to rise above her in title. Isn't that sort of kind of against the message as well of women are, get your bootstraps and like, let's lead the world?
But I don't think it goes against the message of one thing that rich people like to do is be richer.
Yeah.
So if you can hire your husband to be the CEO of your company and leave the money in the family, then that's what you're going to do.
True. This is going to be a little controversial comment, but I feel like money, and I've always sort of thought this, but like class, like money and wealth, always surpasses the secondary group that you're in. So whether it's race, whether it's gender, whether it's nationality, once you get to a certain level of wealth, that becomes your community, no matter what, like across all levels. I don't know if that's true, but that's how I feel. Like it's like even talking about this is a little off topic, but Kanye, once he's got millions and millions of dollars, he no longer aligns with any of the other groups he once belonged to. Now he's like rich person.
I'm like, how can this be the same man that says George Bush doesn't like black people? Like, how is this the same person? It's not.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Totally out of touch with black. I wholeheartedly agree with this point. I believe that once people reach a certain level of wealth, a certain level of status, once they have a certain amount of power, they honestly forget about their root. They forget about their base. They forget about the people that put them there in the first place. And I'm not saying that this is the case with everyone, of course, but I really honestly do feel like money a lot of times will make you out of touch. And everybody wants to be relatable. But that's honestly what I feel like. And I'm not saying it's like, you're upper middle class, you work the 9-to-5 job. I'm talking about super levels of wealth. You're flying in private jets, golden jets and popping bottles. Yeah, so I think that this was a very good discussion about that. And so no matter what type of ideology that you believe in, at the end of the day, it's about the almighty dollar bill. All of the women's empowerment stuff, all of the Black power stuff, all of that goes out the window once you're talking about money. Just my opinion.
It seems um it seems very dangerous, as you said, but then also very incompassionate. No compassion at all towards your audience or fans or whomever, because so many people lost their lives. So many people lost family members. So many people are now still dealing with long haul. And
Yeah.
I have someone in my life that deals with a long haul. They lose energy very quickly. It was to the point where she thought that she was going to pass away because she was always weak. She was always sick. She was crying. And if you don't hear that, you don't experience those firsthand things, like, I'm sorry, you need to shut up. Like, you
Yeah.
really, because you have no sympathy for people who have had their whole entire life.
This is something that's very near and dear to me as far as medical misinformation goes. And this is something that's very important to me as I continue on with my weight loss journey. And it's knowledge that I want to give to people. I want people to know that there are charlatans out there that will take you for a ride. They will try to sell you stuff that does not work. They know it doesn't work, but they don't care. They're trying to make money. They are profiting off of your pain and your ignorance to medical information. And I don't expect anyone to be an expert. I'm not an expert. I know a little bit about a little something, and I want people to be aware. If anything, this is consumer awareness. Consumer awareness mixed in with a little compassion and a little bit of empathy. If you don't believe in science, if you don't believe in medicine, that is your right as a human being. Good for you. I hope you never need a doctor or any type of life-saving surgery, because those things are very important to our society. And for you to not believe in that stuff, it's fine. But once you reach a certain level of notoriety, you have to be careful with the things you say, because people believe you. They take your word for it. And taking your word and saying you don't get sick and you don't want to take this medicine and this and that and that, girl, stop. Stop it, please. Okay? Because we all get sick from time to time. You may get sick less, which is great. I'm glad that you don't get sick a lot. But some people have chronic illnesses. So those people with chronic illnesses, do they just not believe? I mean, do they just lower tiered people because, they suffer from some debilitating illness that they have no control over? Like, are you a superior human being because you claim you don't get sick? Like, really get it. But I do know that you're alienating a lot of people when you are disregarding something so important, such as medical and health information.
I feel like there needs to be some type of balance.
Yes.
And I say that because I do don't say that I do say a lot of positive things on my channel, because I don't know if your audience knows, I don't know if you know, like, I've been on a weight loss journey like my entire life, and I know that a lot of people do not have support. In fact, they're sabotaged at every moment of their waking day, and they turn to people on the internet for help because they don't know where to go, because they're not educated on nutrition or whatever they have going on in their life, and they just need somebody that maybe can relate to them and maybe offer them some positivity.
Yeah.
But that's where that balance comes in. Like, I'm gonna give you the real. I'm not gonna tell you like, oh, it's been all sunshine and roses and butterflies and rainbows with me, because it has not. And then I also do always try to identify the privilege that I have, because I am like not a single mother. I can't relate to that. Like, I have help at home,
Yeah.
and I am not struggling financially. So there are things that I can afford. I can afford to, live a healthier lifestyle because I can afford to go to the grocery store and I have a grocery store in my neighborhood, like things at my disposal. So I think like it takes a balance of identifying your privilege, also being positive because people do need to hear it, but then also talking about the negatives. Like it's gonna be hard for whatever it is that you're trying to do, and then also identify those risks.
Yeah.
Identify, like you said, how like it's a 1 in a million chance that this is actually going to work out in your favor. People need to do that because they might have a family that they have to support and they can't go running off chasing dreams because they need to work.
Yeah, they can't even get sleep. How are they gonna dream? They're like working so much.
If you've been on my channel any amount of time, you know me. You know that I am going to be your biggest cheerleader. I am going to cheer you on. I'm going to show positivity. I'm going to spread positivity. I am going to hopefully give you some things that can help you out. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling distressed, if you need a little push along the way. But then I'm also going to tell you when I've had a bad week or I didn't do the things that I should have done to be successful in my weight loss situation for the week. Or I'm going to tell you, about my past and about my life and who I am as a person and how I got here and how I try to attempt to keep going forward because everything isn't always positive. I want to be real about people and their situations because everybody doesn't have my life. Everybody doesn't have the things that I have, the knowledge that I have, the help that I have, the privilege that I have. Everybody doesn't have that. And I just want to be mindful about people and the struggles that they have and the lives that they lead. I try my hardest to see things from other people's point of view and other people's perspective because I know everybody struggles with so many things, so many different things than I do. And I really just want to try to put myself in their shoes. And I just want to give people something to like have hope for. That's all.
What did you used to watch them?
Loser was absolutely toxic.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone knows anything about this, but I think that I didn't do like a whole video on it, but I'm sure that I mentioned this in one of my videos that I did. If you're ever interested in hearing about metabolism, you can Google like the Biggest Loser study, and they talk about like how these participants basically wrecked their metabolism because all they did was very low calorie and exercise all day long. That's all they did. They were locked away in some place, isolated from family. I can't even imagine like what was going on like with their mental health because they didn't have any family, they didn't have any friends. They were all, it was like backstabbing with people in the environment they were in and sabotaging, trying to make people eat cookies before the weigh-in.
I remember that.
Trainer like screaming in your face like you need to puke. No, you do not need to puke. Don't do that, please, y'all. So I mean, it was absolutely toxic. Did I want to go on The Biggest Loser? I did because once again, you are vulnerable and you are desperate and you've done everything. You want to do whatever it is that you want to do to try to reach the goals that you like have in your head. Of course, you don't have to go to those extremes. Now, I know that you said, I believe I saw the other show before, the one that they give them a year to do. And I want to say that they're not locked away. They're at their home, right? So they can make their own choices and make their own decisions about what they want to eat and when they want to exercise and stuff like that.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a double-edged sword to me. I know a lot of people feel a certain way about reality television and people being on there and, whether they're being taken advantage of or, executives, TV stations profiting off people's pain and everything. I don't know because I can't say, I don't know I do know that, television producers do skew and do clips and things like that to make things look a certain way.
Totally.
It may not necessarily be what that person exactly signed up for. but they do have resources that they may not have had before. They have a personal, they have nutrition guidance, a registered dietitian, and things like that. So it's a double-edged sword, and people make the same comments about like my 600-pound life as well.
Yeah.
Like they're basically, taking advantage of these people and stuff. Like it's a double-edged sword because they do pay for
For the
their weight loss.
surgery. Yeah.
They do pay for it. I don't feel like, and I want to say they pay for like their counseling and stuff, but I'm not sure about that though. Because a lot of those people have serious traumatic situations that led to them gaining that amount of weight. Same with me.
Yeah.
If you're interested, you can go look on my channel and see
Okay.
my videos and talking about that. But if they don't address those issues, they're just going to gain the weight back. And I can say that
Yeah.
from my own personal experience.
It's almost like the other side of like an ED. Well, I guess it's still an ED. To binge eating could be one, but like it's the same way, just the opposite. Like instead of withholding or counting, and it's like overindulging. But I think those as well come from, usually in most, I would say a lot of cases, I would imagine, are from an emotional issue that has happened. It's not so much like you can't tell someone who's like thin or going through an ED and go eat a cheeseburger, like that'll help. It's not about that. It's about the reason they're doing it, and I can't believe that that's still not understood in 2022, like widely, that people think like
It'll
just
never be understood because people do not have empathy, right?
yeah.
They tell thin people to eat a cheeseburger, and they tell a larger person to don't eat a cheeseburger. And
Yeah.
it's really not that simple, because if that was the case, then there would be no one on either one of those extremes.
Yeah. And I find it interesting too. There's a whole, and this, I would love to hear your opinions about it, even on your channel about, people who are thin or normal or whatever, having such a strong opinion about like bigger mannequins. Like that seems to be such a touchy subject for people who aren't overweight and have never been overweight. They like cannot stand that there would be an overweight representation, like in modeling or in acting or in any other capacity. It's like, why do you think that is? Like, why do people care so much about what other people weigh?
Damn, I don't know. Because I just found it so weird how they were saying that having like Tess Holiday on the front of magazine cover is glorifying obesity. Like, I don't understand it, because people come in different shapes and they come in different sizes. So like, I don't care how many health initiatives you have in the world, there are always going to be overweight people. There are always
Yeah.
going to be really thin people. Like, it's not going away. So having representation just makes a lot of people feel more comfortable. Like, oh, this is somewhere I can shop, or this is somewhere that I can go hang out, or even you see it all the time, like in medical practices, like, oh, this is a doctor that I can feel comfortable with. Because honestly, and I'm going to say, like, even from my own experience, that I've dealt with it, because it happens. Doctors want to say that all of your medical issues are due to you being overweight. Like,
No matter what it is.
and they're not. They're not. Like,
Yeah.
of course, because I have a medical condition in my back, and I never was diagnosed for years and years and years. Like, it got worse after I had my child, and I bounced around through a couple of doctors, and I finally found a lovely Black nurse at Northwestern to take me serious, and she was like, "Oh gosh, you're too young to be doing that." Like, she immediately like put in for me to get x-rays, and what the x-rays come back, we'll do a CT scan, we'll do all this, like we'll see what's at the bottom of this. And there you have it. I have a degenerative disease in my back, not caused because of excess weight. Well, there you have
Dang.
it.
And of course, towards the end of the conversation, I made it about weight loss, or maybe we made it about weight loss and health, which I greatly appreciated because you know that is what I am all about. That's what I am trying to do, and I'm trying to help people out along the way. I know I had a lot, or maybe I just had a little bit to say about reality TV and those weight loss shows and things like that. And I know people have a lot of strong opinions about reality TV because honestly, when those people go on those shows, they're desperate. I said, oh, I wish I could have went on one of those shows myself. And I guess, now I'm kind of glad I didn't. But they have these executives and producers and people like that are in such high power roles telling you to do this and do that and do this and do that. And you're just going to do it because you want the help. You want the weight loss surgery, or you want, to get the personal trainer or whatever, and you're just going to agree to anything. And then I've also heard a lot about the cuts that they make in the videos and the way that they make you look and the way that they portray you. It can be very crazy. And so, like I said, it's a double-edged sword because I don't think that their whole existence is to like help people. Their whole existence is to make money. And they're going to make money in whatever way that they can do at the expense of people and also, exploiting people. But then you have to look at it as you're an adult, you signed up for this, you have to bear the consequences of the fact that you're on this show. Sadly, yeah, that's the reality of that. And also towards the end, I talk about the whole situation about, being obese or whatever. And I talk about it a lot. I've talked about it on my channel a lot. And for me, being obese was just, that was the way that I was. It wasn't like I was trying to like recruit people to be obese, or I wasn't like trying to recruit people to like live an unhealthy lifestyle. Like, I mind my business and I drink water. Like, I don't care what the next person does. Like, a person on a magazine cover, it does not like affect my entire existence about life. And I would hope that people don't let it do that. But people have, younger people, they see all these people in the media and on TV or whatever, and they're like, oh, I want to be just like that person. I want to do this and I want to do that. And, I feel like people just need different role models, honestly. Because if you see someone, and then their look impacts you that much, you need help within yourself. And I really hope that people get the help that they need. And I'm not trying to say that like in a mean way or in a nasty way. Like, we all need help. Like, I'll be the first to admit, like, I have gotten help. That is the only reason why I'm here, to be able to tell my story to you and to be almost a year into weight loss and health because of mental health resources. And I really just hope that people continue to seek those resources out and to take mental health seriously so that we can begin changing the conversation, what it means to be healthy, what it means to have healthy role models, and how social media, the media, and things like that affect our body image and who we are. So I hope you guys like this review. If you did, go ahead and like my video. And of course, subscribe to my channel because I would love to have you here. You go ahead, sound off in the comments below. I usually respond to every one of them. And, I enjoy very positive comments. And I also enjoy reading people's opinions. If they have differing opinions, it's fine for us to have differing opinions. I also believe in respect, and I'm going to definitely respect you, and hopefully you will respect me and others who are watching the video and commenting as well. With all that being said, I want you guys to make sure that you continue to spread kindness, please, because we need more of that in the world. And I thank you for watching my video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.